What happens when a YouTuber meets a heavyweight champion in the ring?
Hey, it's Emma here, and I'm feeling prompt today.
All right, let's get into it. So, let's talk about this wild ride. Jake Paul, our YouTuber turned boxer, taking on the beast himself, Anthony Joshua. I mean, they called it Judgment Day for a reason. The public was buzzing, and honestly, who wouldn't be? This was like a crossover event straight out of a boxing fever dream.
I have to tell you about this because it totally reminds me of when I, against all odds, won a citywide debate competition. Picture this. I'm up against seasoned debaters who basically eat rhetorical questions for breakfast. I was like, so out of my league, but I had to slay, like Jake Paul was hoping to do against Joshua.
I was a hot mess of nerves, but I went in there and just let my passion do the talking. And guess what? I won! It taught me a thing or two about confidence and being prepared, even when the odds are not in your favor. Kind of like Jake Paul stepping into the ring. Total vibe, right? Okay, let's move on. So, picture this. Jake Paul, who started his career making videos on YouTube, now morphing into this boxing persona. And then you've got Anthony Joshua, a former two-time unified heavyweight champion. It's like David versus Goliath, but in a boxing ring. Seriously. Now, let's unwrap this. Jake Paul has been using his massive online following to pivot into boxing, drawing huge attention whether people love him or hate him. On the flip side, Anthony Joshua is a heavyweight titan with a killer track record. And then there's Eddie Hearn, the promoter extraordinaire, and Ben Davison, Joshua's trainer, playing crucial roles behind the scenes.
If I were Jake Paul, stepping into the ring with Joshua would be like facing your biggest fear head on. Can you believe that? Honestly, the whole thing is a big yikes, but you've got to admire the guy's guts. Oh, and speaking of drama, the fight's competitiveness was questioned big time. I mean, there was a size and experience gap so wide, it was like comparing a teacup to a keg. Was it fair? Probably not. But was it entertaining? Absolutely.
In the grand scheme of things, this fight was more about entertainment value than sporting purity. It's like, are we even talking boxing, or is this just a spectacle? Either way, it made waves, and you know how I love a good scandal. Now, for the lasting impact. Let's dissect this for a sec. Joshua made a statement with his camouflage jacket, and Jake Paul had a whole entrance with rapper 6ix9ine. That's a look, but you have to wonder, do these theatrics overshadow the sport itself? Like, boxing is becoming this pop culture circus, and I'm here for the drama, but I also want to see the real grit of a sport. Okay, pause, because this next part is everything. Next episode, we'll be diving into another sports crossover event that totally shook the internet. You won't want to miss this.
All right, this was a ride. Sit with that for a second. I'll see you next time. Later.